Hi everyone, this is Carrie with the Dark Modiste, and this video is going to show you how to lace up and put on stays. These are my own personal stays, so I'm really excited to use these to demo this. These are so much fun and pretty easy once you get them set up to your body. So starting from the bottom, I pulled all the way through on the first crisscross. Kind of hard to see in all this decor, sorry about that. But at the very end, similar to all of our bodices, there's a knot on each of the laces. So that way the lacing will not come all the way through as you pull to loosen up. Then I'm going to grab the second crisscross section and I'm going to pull. This is going to be a lot longer than any bodices because it's more lacing. Go to the next one. Trying to make this as even as possible. The whole point is to not pull all of it through, so that way I can end up pulling this over my head. Two more crisscrosses. There we go. Then you can pull that apart. Gives you lots of room. Now, I could probably fit this over my head, but I'm not going to want to. I definitely want to make sure that I loosen up the back as well. So once I untangled the bow from the back, you can see there's some crisscrosses here. It stops because here's the cords on each side, or the bunny ears, as we like to call it, and then two more crisscrosses. So I'm not going to loosen this too much or to the end of the bunny ears. You don't need that much because you still want to be able to pull this and tighten this on your own. If you have help, great. I like to be independent and do these things on my own. So that gives me plenty of room to slide in. So I want you to take a look at this. Where I had so many lacing lengths before, if I lift this up, that's all that's left. There's not much. That's why we give so much length to these lacing. Okay, so now I'm gonna try this on. So just like with bodices, I'm gonna go from the bottom in, but it's going to be a lot longer. Make sure you take off glasses, clips, anything that could get caught on. I'm going to leave my earrings in, but I'm more familiar with this. If you can, take earrings off as well. You might get caught in lacing. Here we go. Whee! But I'm going to step back so you can see how much room I have in all of this. There's lots to give here. I am going to tighten a little bit in the front and the back. As you get to know your stays, you're going to know how much you're going to need to tighten on both sides. Personally, I am able to tighten up the back and leave it. And from then on, I only need to loosen up the front. I can shimmy in and out, and I'm good from then on, only adjusting the front. You may need to do both. All right, because it's easier, I am going to get started on the front. I am going to tighten from the top down. But again, I'm not going to tighten too much. I'm just gonna tie this off real quick at the bottom. I'm gonna find my bunny ears first. Here they are. Here's one, here's two. As I go, I tend to put the laces in my mouth just so I can hold tension, and then I'll keep adjusting as I go. I like to start from the bottom to the top and then keep kind of going back and forth. Everybody's different. You do you. That part is very hard to do on your own. That has been years of practice of corsetry. It's great if you can get somebody to help you with that first one and then adjust from the front from here on out. In fact, I'm gonna go check in the mirror to make sure that I have that right before I move forward. I didn't have to make too many adjustments. So now you can tell it's still a little loose, but there's a lot more form fitting here, which is fabulous. I'm feeling better now. I'm feeling more of that hug that we want to happen. So next up, I'm going to adjust my chest so that way I have more room to move and tighten the stays even more. Now, because I haven't worn these very often, in fact, this is the third time I've worn them, I'm not gonna tighten them super tight because I'm still technically seasoning in this boning. It's still getting used to the shape of my body. If I take this off right now and put it down on the table, it's going to actually look how I first sewed it versus in a couple of months after I have worn it quite a few times, you're gonna see it start to take the shape of my curves, which is so cool. I love when it does that. So now I'm gonna start tightening even more. Adjust everything first. Go. Oh, that already gave me so much more room. Now, we can really pull in. And similar to bodices, really only need to pull every other, and it's going to pull everything together. So pretty. So I'm just loosening, kind of spreading out the lacing around here. So that's about as tightened as I'm going to get it. So now the question is, what do I do with all this lacing? I'm going to double knot my bow, and then I'm going to fold the lacing. You don't want to put it into like a circle loop that's going to be all bunched up. So just fold it together And then pick a side, go under the tabs. These are called tabs. And tuck it into the stays. Now what do you do with the back? I like to take these, even them out, fold them together, and then since there is a hole kind of where the crisscross of the bunny ears are, you can find that hole and you can tuck your laces in right there. Last thing you really need to do is adjust your straps. You can either do a bow. I don't personally like to do the bow because it gets me after a while. I'll start fiddling with it. So what I do instead is I'll double knot it and then I'll just tuck it right in here. Boom. Same thing with this side. It gets tucked right in. And now you have your stays. Look how pretty that is. I feel like a ballerina.